saw the defense. There was a pass play, but he ended up running based on what he saw. When you went over that with Sam yesterday, what did he see, and was that the right thing to do?
So which overtime now are we talking about?
Beginning of regulation.
Okay.
On those 3 plays.
Yeah. Oh, right before?
Yeah.
We ran a play that had a design draw with a throw on it. And the thought process there was you got to be careful there because especially in an away game, in my mind, you always want to extend the game as long as you can and give yourself a chance to win. So the last thing that you want to do, I got it. Ross isn't here. There you go. The last thing you want to do is put the ball in jeopardy. So you want to be careful there. You want to have a good throw. You want to have an easy throw. You want a positive play on first down because we didn't have a lot of clock. So we called the combo play that gave him the option. And numbers-wise, the draw was there. So that's if the throw was there and it was easy and it was a clean throw, he would have made that throw. And we were trying to get out of bounds and line up and run another one. But that's the thinking behind the play call. Okay?
So I might have worded the whole thing poorly about getting on the same page, but you've worked for several different guys, so I mean, is there a period of time that it takes to understand exactly what they want in certain situations for different head coaches?
Oh, of course there are, and I think it's something that I try to do though preseason. I don't want to be learning what the head coach wants in season. We get to each situation, we work them all, we work them a bunch in camp, and Mac and I have a lot of conversations about many, many different situations that will arise in a game. And you want to make sure you get that stuff hammered out before so that we are on the same page on game day. But I don't think we've had an issue being on the same page at all. So I actually enjoy immensely, as you well know, working for Mac, and he lets you coach, and he'll challenge all of us at the end of the week. We win 40-0 or lose 40-0, and he's going to challenge anything that he thinks could be better. And it's good for us as a staff, and it's good for us as the roster, because the players and the staff are held accountable, and we've got to get better every week. And that's why you've seen improvement in our team over the past 7 weeks.
There's been a lot of high-profile two-point plays this season.
There have.
Rare.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on preparing for those? What goes into it? How much you work on it? And then can you speak to the 2 failed conversions at the end of the game there at the time?
Yeah, I rolled the dice with the quick pitch, and they tracked Michael. I was upset about not getting the face mask call, which was obvious on that. But from a play calling standpoint, I rolled the dice on it, and we didn't get it. They tracked Michael, so you would expect or try to influence him inside. Watching film, he got influenced with run action going the other way, and we thought we'd get the edge, kind of like we did earlier in the season. And I think Miami, we ran something similar, not quite the same play. And then the shoot route in the end zone, I don't know that we ran that well. That was there. We had a 2-for-2. It did not open up. They undercut the route, and Sam had to scramble because the route wasn't there. That was the second 2-point shot.
What's a 2-for-2?
Well, we had twins.
Okay.
And they had 3 out there, but the third one was far inside, and it was a non-factor. And we were working a shoot route or an out route underneath the wide out, working inside the corner. We need to push that up a little bit more and rub off the wide out, and we didn't. And he undercut the route, and Sam intelligently didn't throw that because that wasn't there. And so he had to scramble to the fade by Bo Corrales. That's what happened on the second one.
2-point conversion prep.
Yeah, I mean, we work on every situation. You work on 2-point, you work on goal line, you work on third down. It's on the list, and you go through it. I think we carry a couple more now because of the 2-point rule. You don't really plan to go into 5 overtimes, but you do work them. And if you're not even going to use them that week, you get to carry them forward. And when they work against another team, you pull them out of your 2-point library and you put them on the rack for that week. So that's an area, like I said, we have something that we emphasize every week. That's one of them. It's similar. 2-point plays are real similar to your goal line plays. We used one, the naked, that Toe scored on, and you second guess yourself and say, well, heck, should I have used something else to score and held that one for the 2-point? But when you're in the ball game, touchdowns are important, and we're going to call the very best play that we have on the rack. And you get to a point in 5 overtimes where you run out of 2-point plays, and that's kind of where we were.
It seemed like Sam was getting pressured a lot, especially in the second half.
Yeah, we cut a few guys loose, and didn't give Sam an opportunity to stick his foot in the ground and make a throw early on. He did a good job of giving up, throwing the ball away, not giving up more sacks in the game. I think we were listed for 5. The O-line gave up 2, really. 3 of them were quarterback draws in which Sam got tackled behind the line of scrimmage, which statistically gets counted as a sack. But when we evaluate it in the passing game, we gave up 2 on Saturday from a pass game standpoint.
So how would you assess how your offensive line played?
I think we had some miscues on Saturday that affected us. I don't think we had the same continuity up front that we did in the Clemson game and in the Georgia Tech game. And so those are things that we have to get cleaned up here before Duke, because Duke is going to be one of the very best coach teams that we play this whole season, without question. I think on both sides of the football.
Phil, does that speak to the running back and the rushing game issues after halftime?
Yeah, up front, the mistakes, we really didn't discriminate. We had a couple in pass protection, and we had a couple in the run game, and that resulted in some TFLs. They were more physical in nature than they were mental. And so, it's just those little things are the things that we'll focus on this week, and can't make those same mistakes against Duke if we expect to beat this team.
When the Army went down, how did that change what you guys could do in the passing game?
With the return of Antoine Green, it really didn't. If Antoine wasn't here, then you're going with a younger wide receiver, maybe with different attributes. But you've got, Antoine has deep ball ability. Bo has proven to be able to do what he needs to do. We've been happy with his play. So, you always miss De'Ami Brown. Don't get me wrong. But I thought it was a good time to have Antoine Green back and healthy and 100%, because he was able to take those reps that were given to him because of De'Ami's injury. And so we expect him to be back, and I think the 3 to the 4 guys that Lonnie's been working at wide receiver right now, you'll see on Saturday as well.
Phil, the deep scoring pass to Antoine Green's story behind that play, where it came from, or is that something you've had in your pocket for a while?
Coach Brewster has run that before. I have run that before. You have a library of exotics, as we call them, or trick plays, and some games you go into a ball game and in the game plan you don't carry any, you don't feel like you need it. Other games you feel like you do, and so it's kind of like the 2-point list. You go to your library of things and you pull out what you think that you have run that's worked, that you have confidence in, and you pull them out. And if the team that you're playing is susceptible to them, then you choose a few. And that was just one that we had that on the playlist a few weeks ago. Did not pull the trigger on it, didn't need it, didn't get the scenario that we wanted to call it. So it stays in your bag until you see another opponent like Virginia Tech that we thought it would hit on. And so we just, we tried to call it when it might. We wanted it to be a big play. I really wanted to call it once we crossed midfield. The tight end also had an opportunity to catch that one. He was the wheel down the sideline. And it wound up going to AG, who was the inside vertical. So he was the one that they cut loose, and so Sam found him, and we hit it at a good time, I thought, in the fourth quarter.
Is that called a reverse flea flicker? That be?
Yeah, I don't know. We call it monsoon, so
Okay.
whatever you want to call it is fine by me.
Garrett Walsh has been playing a lot more. Getting a lot
Yes.
more snaps ahead of
Yeah.
some other tight ends. What has he done that's earned the
I think Carl has been nagged. He has had some nagging injuries. He's been bothered by some things on and off. That's giving Garrett Walsh an opportunity to get some more reps. And Garrett has been really, really productive. And I know Coach Brewster's happy with he's done a better job being physical in the box, and he's a really, really good receiver out in space. And so he's the one that's been consistently healthy. He's been practicing real well, and so right now he's the starter, and Coach works in Carl behind him.
Sam's over, I think, 700 yards and 8-9 touchdowns in the past 2 games. Has he kind of hit another level or taken a step forward over these past couple games?
I just think it's like our third down percentage has been a lot better the last 4 weeks than it was at the beginning of the year. And a lot of the important areas offensively are just getting better systematically and consistently better every week. And I think the passing game with Sam is no different. He's pulling the trigger faster. He's making faster decisions. For the most part, he's making good decisions, so he's not really putting the ball in jeopardy. And the other thing I would say with regards to his specific throw talent is he does a great job of putting the ball in safe areas. Even against, we don't have a lot of receivers that make contested catches. But the way the passing game works, as we've talked about, guys are in grass a lot. They're open. So he's hitting guys in open space. But when there is a contested catch, meaning a receiver with a defender on one side or the other, he does a really, really good job of placing the ball away from the color of the defender. And, when I first started coaching, when I got into this stuff early on, and coaches talked about, hey, look, we're going to landmark the ball on this armpit as opposed to this armpit, I didn't buy that. I just thought that was so specific and unrealistic. Quarterbacks are moving, receivers are moving, but it couldn't be more helpful to our passing game, and you really can. And, we say in the quarterback room, aim small, miss small. So there's a small target we want to find on every receiver. Some guys are better than that than others. Sam is really, really good at putting the ball in an area where we're not jeopardizing it with the defense.
Phil, Antonio Williams came back into the running back rotation a little bit. So I know you talked about in the past that there's always a game plan for him, but was there a reason in particular that he...
Well, the last couple of weeks, he also has had some neck injuries. So he hasn't practiced quite as much, and he has not been at 100%. This was the first game we felt like he was back at 100%. And the truth be told, I let Coach Gillespie run the rotation with the RBs. He knows that room better than I do. He knows what we're doing offensively. He knows where they fit, and he plays them sometimes by situation. As I told you earlier, a lot of times we play them by who's hot. And he does bring a very physical element to our backfield. We have used him in short yardage goal line. We use him in protection. He did a good job of getting the ball on the perimeter, against Virginia Tech. So Coach G has a really good feel for that room, and we're going to continue to let him manage those three guys.
What do you expect to see out of Duke this weekend? You mentioned how great of a team they're coached. What about their ability on defense?
So they are a high effort team. I doubt you see many loafs in practice. You can tell that they're coached hard, and they're a high effort, high pursuit football team. They squeeze space well. I think they play a lot of people, especially in the front seven. They play a lot of multiple coverages. They'll play 3 or 4 different coverages, but look the same pre-snap. One of our coaches made the comment, it looks like we're watching NFL film, and it does. When you watch NFL film, there's a lot of standard alignment, and then they're going to play a multitude of things after the snap, and that's really how we view Duke. And they do a really good job of disguising man and zone and box coverage and invert and those things all out of the same alignment. So I just think it's one of the more well-coached football teams we're going to see this week. So we're going to have to be as disciplined. And, the MAs, the missed assignments for us have been at a minimum. We've been pretty good there. And so we're going to need to be on point there to match them mentally, I think, from the X's and O's standpoint.